What's up, my YouTube and Instagram family? This your boy Roberto checking in with another video, guys. So, back on this George Floyd case, they're gonna do whatever they can to make it seem like the police was not, did not kill him. And they've even tried to do a fake autopsy and say that he did not die from the force from the police officer's knee being on his neck. And now they're saying he had the coronavirus. Just didn't have any symptoms or anything. And at this point, I feel like they're just kind of throwing anything out there, because the coronavirus causes your lungs to collapse or whatever, and you can't breathe. So they're basically trying to use that as a scapegoat to say why he died. This is exactly why I say this stuff is planned. Because when it's planned, they'll do whatever to get those the cops that are supposed to be guilty. They'll do whatever to get them out of it, which they're probably not in jail anyway. They're probably somewhere out of state in protective custody or whatever. But I can tell you now, they're probably not in jail. Only time we'll see them is when it's time to go to court. But they are definitely not in jail right now, guys. I can tell you that now. And I know that because of all the excuses they are trying to make. These are crisis actors, guys. Maybe George Floyd wasn't. Maybe he was. But those officers were pretty much paid to do that. And I'm not talking about from police. This happens all the time, guys. And the fact that him and George Floyd worked together at a nightclub or whatever it was just makes it a little more suspicious. And now you're saying George Floyd has the coronavirus? So chances are those officers that arrested him have the coronavirus too. So they need to be tested. They're trying to use anything to get them off the hook. And I personally don't think George Floyd had the coronavirus. They already lied about his autopsy, because when his family had another one done, it got different results. So this is really just a big cover-up. And it's sad that, we have to go through this. But it's life. And whenever the government feels cornered, guess what they do? They do stuff like this. So now we got an innocent man dead. 4 police officers that are supposedly arrested, which I'm pretty sure they're not arrested. They just took some mugshot pictures and they're still living their normal life. Well, not normal anymore, because they can't really go out in public. Excuse me, because everybody knows their faces. But it happens. It happens. I'm surprised that the route people would go to defend such evil people. Like, people are really going the extra mile to prove why these people are, innocent or didn't do what they do. They don't understand why the protesters are protesting. A lot of people don't know the difference between protesting, looting. Protesting and looting, they consider all the protesters the looters. Looters are looters. They're gonna loot. Protesters are gonna protest. But they tell you, hey, you can't blame all cops for one bad cop, right? Or several bad cops, whatever you want to call it. But one bad protester or one looter is all Black Lives Matter protesters. They make it out to be all of them. And those people might not have anything to do with, the Black Lives Matter might not have anything to do with the looters. But the looters are going to use that as their excuse, like, we're Black Lives Matter, so they can get away with looting. But they consider all the Black Lives Matter people looters. That makes no sense at all, because y'all don't want us to say all cops are bad. The whole point is to get justice when cops do wrong. There usually is no justice behind it. Wrong is wrong. The dude was pleading for his life, and the officer continued to hold his knee down. Now, if he let his knee off, let him breathe or whatever, tried to do CPR, none of that, guys. You just watch this man die in cold blood. It's crazy. Now they're trying to say he has the coronavirus. Bullshit. That man did not have the coronavirus. They're doing anything to protect those guys. So we need to get those officers tested. But you know what? They might try to use them having the coronavirus as a way to let them sit out until they have a court date. That's what they might do. So if they say the officers all test positive for the coronavirus, we're going to leave them quarantined at home until their court date. They may do that for a reason to justify why they're not in jail. Because I'll tell you right now, guys, they're not in jail. They're free roaming right now in their homes, in some homes somewhere out of state. They're not in jail. But, they're going to tell us they're in protective custody. No one else is going to see them. Just how society works. It works against us, guys. And people protest for a reason. There's been protests going on around the world. But, society has its ways of doing things. And the government has their ways of doing things. In the end, we should all be treated equally. People, being black, I know what it feels like to get discriminated against. It happens all the time. And if you're not black, you really can't. It's really hard to even relate. Like, just the fact of getting pulled over for no apparent reason, and then they tell you something like your tag light is out, and you give it your tag light not out, it's actually working. Then they want to search your vehicle. So many things, guys. So many things. But that's how society is worked these days. I'm hurt. I really am. I just feel like more people are trying to justify the protesters looting and doing things rather than the actual death of somebody dying. You're out here You're out here going against the grain. Like, you're trying to make excuses for other things. Like, somebody died and you're worried about protesters. That shows you where we're at in society right now, guys. And this is not all white people or all black people. That's, there are black people saying that we're wrong too, guys. Not just white people. There are white people out there standing with black people, protesting Black Lives Matter. There are, white supremacist groups out there taking advantage of it and destroying and looting things, but it's falling on Black Lives Matter. No one, people always talk about black on black crime. There are groups out there that, want people to stop black on black crime. They preach about it, they talk about it, they do, they talk, they go to communities and talk. But those things, people don't talk about those things. Black Lives Matter is for, getting justice for black people, getting treated equally. There are different groups for different things. Yes, we know there's black on black crime. Most black people are surrounded. They're in black communities surrounded by nothing but black people. That's why black people kill black people. White people are normally surrounded by white people. That's why white people kill white people. And then people started to say a higher percent of officers are killed, like 42% of officers are killed by black people, and only 8% of black people are killed by officers. And then I guess the number for white people is much, they don't, officers basically killed by black people more than anybody. Well, that may be true. I'm not too sure how that statistic is. It may be true, but you gotta look at it this way. When a white person is, they don't really get harassed by police officers as much as black people do. We already have fear in our heart when we get pulled over. Like, when I get pulled over by the police, my heart drops. I have kids. It drops. I get scared. They put fear in my heart because I never know what's gonna happen. You get accused of things you didn't do. They're trying to tell you your car smells like weed and this and that, but it happens. We're put in shitty situations. So I wouldn't be surprised if black people kill officers more than white people, because we're put in more fucked up situations than anybody else. Excuse my language. We're put in more bad situations than anybody else. And it's never right for a black person to kill a police officer. I don't agree with that. I do not. But if something, it's been times where black people have to defend themselves because an officer is quote unquote scared of them. They walk to their car. They walk to your car with their gun, their hand on their gun. So they're already looking for the worst. Already. Guys, we got to be better. We got to be smarter. Don't be fooled by the system. They're trying to say George Floyd has the coronavirus. Bullshit, guys. Bullshit. George Floyd does not have the coronavirus. They're just trying to find a way to either say that he died from the coronavirus or the officers may have the coronavirus and they're going to release them. Pay attention, guys. Pay attention. And as you can see, all the racist athletes and things are coming out now. When you kneeled and you tried to do a peaceful protest, they had an issue with that. When you walk the streets and protest, they got an issue with that. When you're looting and rioting, they got an issue with that. You can't do right. We're in 2020. We should not be going through the things we go through right now. Give or take, we live in way better lives than, back in the slave days and back in from when they were segregated. People were segregated, but we're still going through it. Hopefully over the next 20 years, the discrimination will stop against black people and our next generation of kids can live a peaceful life. Guys, that's all I got to say about this. Again, I appreciate all of my supporters. Everybody that's been supporting me. Rest in peace, George Floyd. My condolences go to his family. For all the officers that do good out there, you guys have my support. Just keep doing your job. I've seen videos of protesters, protecting cops. I've seen videos of Black Lives Matter, people stopping people from looting and destroying stuff. But, a lot of times they don't want to show that in the media. But you guys have our support for the police out there doing good. And just, making sure the protesters aren't, rioting, doing anything crazy. I appreciate you. For you officers out there that are pepper spraying people for no reason and attacking people, yanking people out of cars, you guys are dead wrong. And you're the reason what's going on in America is happening right now. And around the world. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for the support, guys.